Hello, welcome to Crypto News. Today is March 7th, 2025, and the top crypto news is as follows. Let's start today's episode with yesterday's episode, where I told you that Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, would go to the White House to discuss the strategic reserve and related issues. Based on the latest developments, Charles would not go to the White House because he would be in Japan, something I confirmed from a third source. Moving on from yesterday's episode, we turn to Bitcoin as a reserve in various states, where things are looking positive and progressing. First, the bill to make Bitcoin a subject matter in New Hampshire passed the Senate with 16 votes in favor and 1 against. Meanwhile, one of the 2 Texas bills to make Bitcoin a reserve also passed with 25 votes in favor and 5 against. As a result, momentum is building to make Bitcoin a reserver in various US states, with Utah currently leading the way. Since we are discussing subject matters, let's talk about Donald Trump, who has officially signed an executive order making Bitcoin a reserve in the United States. David Sachs, he told us that the subject matter will focus on Bitcoin owned by the federal government, Bitcoin obtained through criminal or tax proceedings, property taxes, etc. Specifically, this refers to the 198,109 Bitcoin owned by the US government from various confiscations over the years. These Bitcoins will form the core of the subject matter and will be used in the strategic reserve. Trump had promised that the US would not sell any of these Bitcoins, and it appears he is keeping that promise. However, something that few liked is that, according to Sachs, the government did not buy BTC except those obtained through criminal proceedings. All relevant statements will be linked in the description for you to check. And here is the moment when Trump officially signs this order. Moving forward, as expected, Bitcoin fell by 6%. While Trump signed the reserve, he did not make any firm commitments to purchase additional Bitcoin. The market initially reacted to the announcement, assuming the US government would start buying more Bitcoin. However, no one anticipated that Trump would simply use the Bitcoin the US had already stockpiled and would not buy more for the time being. Since the market was unprepared for this, we saw this price drop. Bitcoin had reached $84,000, and it currently stands at $87,000. One detail worth noting is that in Sachs's message, he made no mention of the other 4 cryptocurrencies, only explaining how the strategic reserve will work, stating that any new Bitcoin or crypto acquired must come from bribes or methods that do not require the US government to spend money to purchase them. At this point, we understand that this is mainly referring to donations and seizures. Now, moving on to additional news related to this event, World Liberty Finance, Trump DeFi entity, purchased a total of $20 million in crypto before the summit. Specifically, they bought $10.1 million in Ethereum, $9.9 million in wrapped Bitcoin, and $1.68 million in Move currency. 2 days before the summit, these transactions were executed by WLF. Additionally, the WLF appears to have a new collaboration with the SWI Foundation. The SWI Foundation announced that it plans to cooperate with WLF, which is backed by President Trump. We have no idea what these two will do. There are no such details, only that they will cooperate and that the WLF plans to include the SWI Foundation in its macro strategy, a strategic allocation of tokens designed to support top cryptography projects. These are the last things we know about the SWI Foundation. Now, moving on to some interesting statements from those who were supposed to participate in this summit, we turn to Charles Hoskinson, who told us that he had no idea ADA would become reserve. Specifically, in a live stream, he mentioned that he did not know the President of the United States would include the Cardano network's ADA as a reserve asset until the day it was announced. Moving on to another notable statement, we look at Anatoly Yakovenko, the founder of Solana, who shared his preferred order for implementing this reserve. At the top of his list is the belief that there should be no reserve for crypto at all because, as he says, if you want decentralization is to fail, putting the government in charge would be the way to do it. The second option he favors is for individual US states to manage their own reserves. Lastly, if a strategic reserve must exist, he believes it should be implemented with calculated movements and meaningful intent. This is a direct translation, as you understand. So Solana does not want a reserve because, according to Yakovenko, it would negatively impact decentralization, and he has a point. Moving on to the last topic of today's episode, we shift to Axie Infinity. The team behind this project has announced the development of a new video game called Atia's Legacy. This game is set to be released in a test phase sometime in the summer of 2025. There is a full video explaining everything about the game, so I won't need to elaborate further. Additionally, a website is already available where you can sign up to be among the first to try it when it launches. Now, turning to the crypto market, Bitcoin is still at $87,000. That wraps up the top news news for crypto today is March 7th, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care everyone, and have a good day.